Raiders hat today. I'm nasally today.
Welcome to The Ugly Truth. This is episode, I'm going to be really good. I'm going to say it correctly. It's episode 242.
242?
Ugh.
That's impossible.
No.
How is it only 242? We were like six something.
642.
See, I'm like, what the fuck? I'm like, did we start over in 2023?
No. I don't know why I said that.
You're like, yes, I'm sure. I'm like, wait.
I am very sure it is 242.
I was like, did we push the odometer button? And I was not aware.
I just am dumb.
Okay.
Welcome to The Ugly Truth.
642.
642. Ugh.
I was taking a drink. I already did one. That was our second.
You did. You're right. I wasn't sure. I was just doing the reset. Anyway, so I started taking this hormone replacement therapy like almost 2 months. It's been 2 months. I think it's been a good 2 months. And so I have had this hellacious migraine for like 2-3 days, and my head is sore today, but I don't have a migraine. I told Daryl, he's like, how is your head today? And I'm like, you know what? I'm pain free. I go, my head is sore though, because I was in pain for so long. But I said, I feel like a baby deer today. I feel like I'm coming out of the woods. You know, it's like, come out wherever you are. It's like, I'm in a great mood, but I feel like a sick Victorian child is recovering. Oh, yeah. You know what I mean? I just feel like I'm recovering. So I'm like, I probably don't look great. I'm a little pale, but whatever. You know, no pain is great. So
I literally was in my bed until like 25 minutes ago. I finally was like, get up.
I told Daryl, I'm like, I give her a 50-50.
No, I did it. I was like, because it's the end of the year. I'm like, we've got to get it over with.
Yes.
And I'm like, it just.
And they're fun once you're here.
My bed.
It's just hard.
It's freezing outside.
I know.
And when it's this cold, I want to stay where it's warm in my nest.
I get you.
And watch TikTok for hours.
Well, I hate TikTok right now. I'm hating it.
Oh, no.
God, it's like every other TikTok is trying to sell me something. Oh. And I'm so over it.
I can scroll so fast.
I do. Boop, boop, boop. I do. And if I see at the bottom eligible for commission, I'm not looking at you. I'm moving on. I just don't want to be sold something, even like low key. Slyly.
No,
don't try to slyly sell me shit.
Yeah. Well, I mean, TikTok has gotten so popular.
Oh, yeah.
That it wouldn't surprise me if we get to the point where it's going to have like paid subscriptions to where you can like be on it without.
I wonder if ad-free
TikTok. Yeah. I mean, I might invest in something like that, to be honest.
Wouldn't be the worst idea. I mean, I do pay for Amazon Prime.
I mean, I pay for Hulu ad-free. I mean,
maybe.
I pretty much pay ad-free for anything I can, unless it's like something I only have for like a show.
Yeah, we don't have, well, I just cancel it. I'm like, we're not watching it, cancel it. I don't care.
Yeah.
I was so insistent upon Paramount Plus. I said, we have to have Paramount Plus. We have to have it. And so finally we get it. And I'm like, meh.
I wasn't that impressed with it.
Well, it's just...
I used to get it free with my cable, and then now they wanted me to pay for it, and I was like, no.
Mm-hmm. And it's kind of expensive.
Well, all of them are. I was looking at my checking account the other day. I was like, for Christ's sake.
Yeah.
$5.99, $8.99.
Yeah,
I'm like, ugh. I actually accidentally, and I was so mad at myself, but now I'm sort of glad I did it. I accidentally subscribed to Disney Plus for a year.
Oh.
So it cost me $110.
Yeah. Well, so Daryl basically for Christmas bought himself a new television.
I was here.
Yes. It's very large.
It's huge.
And he loves it. And I'm like, you know what? Good for you.
I didn't even notice. Oh.
He's so into...
He's a tech guy.
Well, he just loves the best, TV, the best modems, the best gaming systems, all the things, and I benefit from it a little bit, but I am not techie.
It just gives him a thrill.
I'm just not techie at all. Yeah. And so, I, of course, am so uninterested in learning how to use the clicker, the remote, because there's 3 or 4 remotes, and I'm like, well, which one do I need to use? And he gets immediately defensive because he knows that I have an attitude. It's this thing we go through every single time.
He's like, here she goes. She's going to start criticizing and then he looks at the TV. He's like, it's okay. I got you.
It's okay, baby. Are you shaking?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I got you.
So but we have to go through this ritual of me not liking it and him getting frustrated at me for not wanting to learn. And we go through the thing. It's the same every time.
Literally every time Jerry gets a new phone, he hates it. This thing's a piece of shit. Take it back. I want my old phone.
Yeah.
I'm like, shut up, old man.
Just take the fucking phone.
Right?
Yes.
For like a month, I have to listen to that. Yeah.
Well,
So I'm likening this to
yes.
you.
It is kind of like
God damn it, this fucking remote control. This thing's a piece of shit.
So
what does it do?
Basically. And so I'm like, I'm doing the thing, and he's like, okay, this is what you do. I go, okay, you know what? I go, there's a lot of steps. I don't like all these steps. I just want to watch Bob's Burgers at 7:00. Like, how is that so hard? And he's like, listen, you're going to get used to it. And I'm like, I'm aware of what I'll get used to. It's just I hate doing this.
You need like the hotel instructions. You know, when you go to a hotel and there's a little card next to the thing and it says, push number 1 if you want to.
Well, and the thing is, he goes, well, I will admit this remote isn't great. It doesn't light up. So if it's dark, you can't see anything. And I'm like, all right, fine. And then on top of it, and here's the thing, if even one thing isn't going off perfectly, Daryl gets anxious.
Oh.
Because he's like, fuck, I need this to work for her so that she can see how easy it is. It's just so simple. And so
but it's not, and I'm having a problem. And if I'm having a problem, then it's going to turn into a tsunami.
And I don't like the remote that came with the TV, but that's the one he wants to use because it's kind of like a mouse. So you kind of have to move the thing around. And then this little arrow floats around on the TV screen and you click on, and then you click on it like a mouse.
Okay.
So I'm like, okay, I totally get the concept, except that it doesn't work very well.
Right.
And so I'm like, it's like, I go, can we slow down the mouse movement?
Yeah.
Or
does it have a
speed
sensitivity or something?
Yeah, is there some kind of, he's like, well, I don't know. And I'm like, this is your baby.
Then figure it out.
Figured you would know. And he's like, it's new. All right. We're all learning. Fine. So he figures it out, and he's like, and he's trying to teach me, and I can see his face. He's like, she's going to lose it. She's going to lose it any minute now. Okay, so this is how it is. Yeah. So last night I said, well, I'll just watch Hulu or whatever. And he's like, okay. He goes, well, do you know how to do it? I'm like, don't patronize me. Yes. This is how happily married people argue, by the way.
Oh, God, I know.
So we go, and I go, I just want to watch Hulu. And he's like, okay, then just do this. And go, okay, fine, I'm doing it. So I go, and I go, it's not working. He's like, all right, hold on. I had this problem yesterday. And I'm like, oh, you knew about this problem? He goes, just hold on.
It's not a problem. It's just,
he's like, try it this way. I go, you know what? I don't know the back end of anything. Okay. Can I just click on something and watch? This is what I hate about streaming. It's like, I understand that we don't want the middleman anymore. We don't want cable anymore. We want every channel wants their dollar. And then eventually we're all going to basically have cable, but we're just paying every cable channel to watch their shit. I get it. I understand. We all saw this coming 5 years ago. Yeah. So I understand. I go, but the technology of the clicker has to improve. This is dumb. He goes, well, you can just press Disney Plus. It's on the remote. There's literally a Disney Plus logo on the remote. Yeah. I'm like, that will not exist in 2 months, but sure. Wonder where it will go once Disney Plus no longer exists.
Right.
Or Hulu, the Hulu button. Like, then what?
Yeah, mine has those too.
So it's literally becoming obsolete already, right? Just like you said.
And it's brand new.
And we just bought this television. Yeah, we just bought it. Or now it feels like it's a computer. It doesn't even feel like a TV anymore.
I know, right?
So I don't know.
Because they are, really.
And I'm not pissed about technology or but it's like, I just.
You're not a Luddite.
No, I'm not. But what I hate is I'm like, hey, tech people, I know that you got better shit in your businesses. Like if you go to the Apple headquarters, I bet they have like some of the cool. If you go to the Apple store and you put your phone down on one of their tables, some person walks up with a laptop and goes, oh, I see that there's this or that wrong with it. And I'm like, wow. Why can't we do this at home?
Right. Why do I have to come here?
Why do I have to come here? Like that means that whatever they have going on the campus
is so much better.
In Apple down in the Bay Area.
Oh, yeah.
Is so much better than what they're giving the public. They have
cool shit there,
I'm sure. I'm just like, why can't we have that cool shit? And then they'll say, because you can't afford it.
Yeah, you can't afford it, and we can't afford to mass produce it.
Exactly.
So we get to play with it.
So now I have to fuck around with this stupid mouse remote.
Well, that does sound a little strange, but I mean,
I'll show it to you when we're done. You can see it. You're like, oh, this is odd. It's got like a little nipple on it. And I'm like, and I keep messing with the nipple, and he's like, I go, this isn't the mouse. He goes, no, stop. And I'm like, well, what is it? It's a nubbin.
That is so funny.
I go, I just want to use the old remote. He goes, you can. And he's like,
here,
look, take this. And I'm like, okay, cool.
I don't get it.
I just told him, I go, you know what? When you go away, I'm just going to watch the 3 basic cables. I'll be like those old people that just adjust their rabbit ears. And I'll just watch.
Jerry has one.
Freaking Kelly Clarkson.
If the cable goes out, he's like, oh, here, it's ready. I tried to unplug it and put it in a drawer. He's like, where's my antenna? I go, what do we need it for? I'm like, take it out in cases of emergency. He's like, I don't want to have to set it all up and everything again. It's a pain in the ass. I'm like, and it's ugly. It's in the window.
That's so funny.
God, it's annoying. He hunted for that thing for 2 days because I hit it.
Why didn't you just throw it away? It's in recycle.
It was $80.
Oh.
It is for emergencies because our power not power, the cable has gone out.
It goes out all the time.
Yeah.
That's the other thing. That's the other thing. It's like all this shit and then it's like,
then
oh,
you have
sorry,
an outage.
you have an outage in your area.
Yeah.
And I'm like, God forbid. I'm going to sound like our mother and going, we need a go bag and we need a crank radio in case of emergencies.
And a generator.
For the love of God, don't make me be that person.
God, if you ever listened to, and I know you never would, but I was listening to, I wanted to hear the news, or I wanted to hear the traffic because I was going somewhere for work. And the only channel that I know that plays the news or traffic is an AM radio station that is a Fox station.
KFBK.
Yes. Yeah. So I don't listen to that, but I had it on and it was commercials. Mm-hmm. So I was waiting, for the traffic report to come on and the commercials were literally like survivalists. Yes. At first I was like, is this a joke?
Was there like buy gold?
Yes. Jamie, I didn't get it. I was so confused.
Well, that's because you're not their demo.
And then I was like, why are they talking about you're going to need this someday? So we
buy gold bars. What?
Buy gold bars and buying food that'll last for a month.
25 years.
And all this shit. And I was like, what the fuck? And then I'm like, wait, I'm listening to Fox. I was like, oh my God, these people are crazy.
This is what they love. Yeah.
So weird.
Or this is who spends on it.
Yeah, and it was just crazy. It was. And then I laughed because I was like, "Oh, this is funny."
Sometimes it's over the top, and you're. Just
it was
like,
a lot.
What?
Yeah, it was a lot.
Okay,
it literally felt like a joke.
Speaking over the top, I found there's a new podcast that I'm absolutely in love with, and they don't need our help. He does not need our help, but there's a comedian, Daniel Tosh. Mm-hmm. He is really, really, really funny.
Is he a white guy?
Yes.
Okay.
And he's very funny. And he had a time, he had a Comedy Central show where he would do clips before TikTok existed.
Oh, okay.
Anyway,
I'm trying to think if I've seen him on TikTok because it kind of sounds familiar.
No, he looks like Jeff Lewis, but it's not Jeff Lewis. Okay. That's what he kind of looks like. But anyway, he has a new podcast. He has like a few episodes out.
What's his name?
Daniel Tosh.
Okay.
Tosh. Anyway, so he has it's really funny because he's so funny. He has no filter and he's gotten really, really good at just saying what he thinks, and it's funny anyway.
Yeah.
But that's his comedy. His stand-up is that way as well. So he had the very first episode, he had his wife's gynecologist on, and it was really, really great. Because he asked him, and basically he's just like, I'm just going to throw question after question. You just answer them.
It says he was born in Germany.
He was.
Does he have an accent and stuff?
No. I think he was in military, but I don't think he was. Yeah. So anyway, the gynecologist answer, he goes, and he's gay. The gynecologist is gay.
Oh, okay.
And he said, so how does a gay man end up looking at pussy all day? Like, how do you feel about that? He goes, I really don't feel any way about it. He's like, I didn't want to do it when I was in med school. So when you don't want to do a field, you put it at the very end of your rotation of things you have to do. Because, when you're in med school, you have to
do it all.
You have to work in every little division.
Yeah.
And then you kind of determine what you want to do.
What you want to be, yeah.
And he's like, and I did not want to do gynecology or OB, obstetrics. So I waited till the very end and I did the very last thing. And wouldn't you know,
I loved it.
Not only did I love it, but I'm good at it.
Yeah.
And then he got picked up by Cedars-Sinai.
Oh.
So he ended up going from Tennessee. He was like in Alabama or something, and he ends up going to LA. And he goes, do you like LA? He goes, yes, I love LA. Yeah. I have no interest in going back to Alabama.
Like, who would?
None. So he's asking him all these questions about, do they smell? All the questions that you and I always have that doctors never want to be honest about. They
act like, oh, come on.
Right.
And I'm like, no.
He was the same. The thing is,
clinical, damn it.
Yeah, they're actual professionals.
Yeah.
And he goes, the thing is, the vagina is a well-oiled machine.
Yeah.
And he goes, and the odor, he goes, honestly, they don't smell like you think they do.
They shouldn't. That's the truth.
He goes, what smells, and the thing that I have the problem with is feet.
Oh, for God's sakes.
He said, it's a real issue. He goes, and I'm in LA. He goes, so I get these women, these, stunning women, they come in their Tory Burch sandals
Oh, God.
And they take them off.
Oh, fuck's sakes.
Exactly.
I couldn't.
He goes, that's the problem. And I immediately was like, okay, that's it. That's all I needed to hear for the rest of my life.
I will never have stinky feet.
Forever. And you know what I used to do? Well, I didn't this last time, and now I'm Stephanie, I can't get past it. I can't get past it.
You're like, was I? Oh my God.
Well, here's the deal.
They should have scented booties that you have to put on when you're getting in the stirrups.
That's a brilliant idea.
Isn't it? Like the kind you wear in people's houses that don't want you to wear shoes.
Right. So
disposable.
Yes. The little booties.
And have them be like lavender or whatever.
When I used to, before I went to this new gyno, I would come in with a fresh pair of socks and I'd put them on. Yeah. For the exam, and then I'd remove them, and when I got dressed again, and I've done that for years, forever. I always wear fresh socks. I bring fresh socks. I don't even wear them in. Oh, I put them on when I get there.
See, I've never gone.
So basically, I bring my own booties.
Yeah. I've never gone.
I'm so paranoid.
Yeah, I hear you. I literally leave my house. The last thing I do is shower and dress.
Yes.
And walk out the door.
Yes.
So I have literally touched nothing but my home.
Yes.
For minutes before I walking into the guy's office.
If I could float
I would totally.
So if I could go in a towel,
anything,
I would go
as
clean as possible.
Yeah.
But anyway, so when I had this first visit with our shared doctor now, I didn't think I was getting a full exam. So I just wore sandals and I just wore a dress.
Yes.
And I looked great, but I didn't have my socks with me. Uh-oh. And so I was like, I'm in the stirrups. He's 2 elbows deep into examining me. God. And I go, I just want to apologize. And he's like, why? I go, well, I'm wearing sandals. He's like, yeah. And I said, well, normally, I like to have like socks on or something that I bring. And he's like, pause. Okay. He goes, well, we're all wearing shoes too. And I'm like, I'm aware that you're wearing shoes, but they're not in your face.
Your shoes aren't in my face.
Mine are. Yeah. And it's not my shoes I'm concerned with. And I just can't say the F word very often. I mean, I said it one time for you just so you knew what I was talking about. But other than that, I'm just like, he's like, it's fine. I'm like, is it though?
He's not going to tell you, right?
No.
This is the man that laughed when I asked him the question too.
Yes.
He's like, oh, we all have our own scents and odors. It's perfectly natural. I'm like, stop lying. Stop it. I'm like, because I deal with the public and most people do try
to have
a
discernible odor.
Well, most people try to be fresh and presentable, but there's always that one person that seems to be sometimes completely oblivious to hygiene,
and they forget, or they just don't smell themselves, or nobody taught them that. Hey, I
don't know what the reason is, but it doesn't occur to them that they stink. And I'm like,
it's one of those things where those people that go to the dentist who don't brush and floss before they walk in for a cleaning.
Kidding me? Yeah,
they're like, what? I'm eating Oreos and eating an onion sandwich.
Oh, good God!
I'm coming here to get cleaned, aren't I? Am I not?
Ew.
Oh my God. Anyway, so he's really funny.
Lumi is great for OBGYN visits. Oh my God,
you're right. So the reason I'm bringing him up is I was listening to one of his shows today, and he has this guy. His name is Blake Leeper, and ironically, he's a double amputee, and he's a Paralympian, which I thought was very funny. He's a sprinter, and he's considered one of the fastest Paralympians ever. He actually beat all of Oscar Pistorius's world records.
Oh, good.
Who's still in prison, by the way.
I thought he was out.
No, somebody, they said they checked. He's still in jail. Oh, but I think he's getting out.
Right. Maybe it just seems like it's been a long time and mostly because his sentence it just didn't fit the crime for a lot of us.
You don't think he's a murderer?
I do think he's a murderer.
Oh, yeah.
But he'll be out. I think he only got like 10 or 12 years.
I don't think Australia has the death. They're very weird about crime there.
I think it was South Africa.
Oh, you're right.
Yeah.
My bad.
Yeah.
God, you'd think he would be killed.
No.
But they're not.
He's beloved. Still.
By some.
Well, I mean, you got to understand South Africa is an interesting country.
Yes,
there's a very small section of it that's extremely wealthy and elite, and then the rest of it is just like poverty. Like
interestingly, because he's a Paralympian and Blake Leeper is a black man, and he's from South Africa as well. That's why. And so he goes, when I would walk through with the Olympic team or whatever at the airport, and I'd be holding my running legs, wearing my regular walking legs, people would immediately think I was the murderer.
There's a little husky up here with us.
Oh, whatever.
Hello.
She's psycho.
She never comes in here.
I know. I don't even know. Whatever.
Hi. Sasha. She's like,
no, she's not coming.
She's standing there, but anyway.
Yeah. Anyway, she hears us talking. Anyway, so he was talking about how people misunderstood that they thought, oh, you're South African. You must be the person that killed their wife. And he's like, no, that's not me. He's actually white. You know, it's not me.
But it just coincidentally, they were both from South Africa. And
I just happen to be black.
Both were not paraplegic. What do you call them? Paralympians, but
yes.
Yeah.
Anyway, so the reason I'm bringing all of this up is that...
Please, oh my God, the people are probably like, get to the point!
Is that, well, this interview was really fascinating. Mm-hmm. And so Tosh was like, so do you get like a lot of women who want to have sex with you because of you're an Olympian or because you're a double amputee? Like what kind of... He goes, actually, he's like, I can fake it until I can't fake it anymore because of the way I walk and the kind of prosthetics
if they don't know. Yeah.
If they don't know who I am and I'm just dating somebody, you know, we're going out. He goes, they don't find out till I pop them off when I get home.
Oh God.
And he goes, and then I have the nubs. And Tosh is like, I really don't like that word. He's like, what, nub? And he's like, yeah, I'm not real comfortable with that word. He goes, well, I do have them. And he goes, and there are people who are sexually attracted to amputees.
Yes, I know. I've heard this.
They call them devotees, which I did not know. He was saying this. And I immediately had to look it up. I'm like,
to see if it's real.
I mean, a devotee that's like a word. Not just, I didn't know it was a kink.
Hopelessly devoted.
Yes.
But they call them devotees. Okay.
Devotees. And so it says in a survey, so this is the official word, the Greek word for devotees. It's called acrotomophiles. Acrotomophiles. Leg amputations were preferred over arm amputations. Amputations of a single limb over double, and amputations that left a stump over amputations that left no stump. There was a survey done. Devotees adhere to standard conceptions of attractiveness and all other matters. So you have to be attractive and nubbed.
Okay.
And then it's a kink.
Okay.
So you can't be ugly and stumpy.
Okay.
You can only
it's only if you're hot.
Yeah, you have to be aesthetically pleasing in the face and the body.
That's weird.
And then have a nub, and they're all in.
And then it's like, yes.
And they're all in.
Oh my God, that's so weird.
And they're like, it's probably something to do with the phallic.
I think your dog pissed in the carpet out there. Would she?
I don't know.
Unless there's always been like a round.
There was.
Right there.
Yes.
Okay, then maybe that's just old. Thank God. Sorry.
No, it's fine.
I just wanted to make sure because she was like standing there. And I'm
she's freaking, the problem with that dog is she's just so fucking psycho.
I know.
I don't know what to do about it.
There's nothing you can do.
I was telling somebody the other day, I was saying, I think it was last night.
She's just that way.
I said, under any other circumstances, this is a dog that would have been put down. She's so broken. She is. She's so broken. There's nothing anyone can do.
We've had dogs like that too. And it is exhausting.
It is exhausting. It's exhausting because it's like, it's a dog, and I obviously will never let her go, and I will not kill her. I'm going to keep her till she's old and dies.
Yes.
But it's going to make it a long run.
Yeah.
It's a long run.
She's a young dog.
She's 4. She'll be 5
That's
in February.
young to me.
Yeah, no, I got almost a decade left with this dog.
Yeah, right?
And I hate it because she's just not great.
Yeah.
She ain't great. She's not aggressive.
No.
She acts like she's been beaten her whole life. And
she hasn't.
She's never been. She's spoiled rotten.
Yeah, I know.
And she's getting worse because she's getting older.
Yeah.
So it's like.
Yeah. Well, I've been there.
We've all had them.
There, which is why I said that
yeah.
I'm never rescuing another. I've rescued probably 4 or 5 dogs.
She was a rescue.
So I've done my thing. Like, I don't have to feel guilty anymore with being like, okay, you need to rescue a dog. There's so many dogs. I know they do, but I've done that.
Yep.
And it's so much work.
Yeah. And in fact, when we got her, the woman said, she goes, she's been through something really traumatic.
Yeah.
She alluded to the fact that there was a murder and that the family had to give her back because there was a murder and they couldn't take care of a puppy.
Oh, good God.
And so whatever happened in that house,
she saw something.
She was not a part of it, but she was in
You never know.
Yeah. Well, that's true.
I mean, she could have witnessed. I've heard, I was watching some Discovery ID the other day where this woman was a victim of a home invasion and they murdered her husband and one of her dogs.
Oh my
but the
God.
other 2 once they murdered the one dog, the other two got so scared that they ran and hid. And so they didn't die, but they saw their friend get killed, their other dog. So it could have been something weird. You never know.
Yeah, so we took her. We're like, okay, well, you know what? I have the patience.
And she's beautiful, by the way.
And I have the patience of, when it comes to animals, I'll do anything. I'll nurse this dog forever. And every once in a while, I'll be like, let's try a different tactic. I've looked at everything, and they're just like, sometimes there's nothing you can do.
Yeah, it's true.
Sometimes there's something in their brain clicked during some traumatic event, and that's it.
It just never will get fixed.
We're just really lucky it's not aggression.
So I got my cartilage pierced, and my headphones are just like torturing my ears.
I didn't want to say anything because Claire's is literally the worst place to get.
Well, technically, we didn't end up going to Claire's. We ended up going to Icing. I don't know if that matters.
I think they're I think they're owned.
They're both the same type of store.
And by the way, you don't need to wear.
No, I prefer to.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and normally it doesn't bother me. And if I position them just right, it's fine. But then they start to slide. I'm like,
Well, are you taking care of it?
Yeah.
Are you doing the hydrogen peroxide? And are you twisting it?
Are you doing all the stuff? Things? Yep, it came with the stuff.
Because I know from personal experience. Yeah. I got my ears pierced at JCPenney when I was 8, thinking I was responsible enough.
I was there.
And sure as shit, they got massively. Okay, speaking of this, TikTok. There's this new trend that I've come upon. It's in my algorithm now about Gen X childhoods.
Oh yeah, I've seen those.
And it just depends. And sometimes I relate, sometimes I don't. Mm-hmm. It's like I'm pure Gen X, but for some reason I don't relate with a lot of it because we were just a little on the younger side, maybe.
Yeah,
I'm not sure. I feel more like late 80s, early 90s, but we were kids in the 80s.
For sure.
So anyway, there was this one person. And there's this thing, and I think the reason it's trending is that a lot of our parents are boomers.
Yeah.
And they're getting to a point where they want to be taken care of by their children, because that's the cycle.
Yeah.
And the Gen Xers are like, fuck, no.
Yeah, no.
Half of us don't even talk to our parents anymore.
It's so true.
And if you don't relate, that's fine. It's fine. And that means you had good parents. Good for you.
Yeah,
but most of us don't have a whole lot of contact with our parents.
Or some of us,
It's low or no contact for a lot of us. And it's because a lot of Gen Xers were feral. Yeah. And we were literally, like, I was reading and I'm like, oh yeah, our mom used to lock us out and we just had hose water for hours.
Yeah.
We weren't allowed in the house.
Right.
And somebody said, I look back and I see photos of our house and how clean it was. It's because we weren't allowed inside.
We weren't in it.
We were never allowed inside.
Well, and now that you mention it, we were often banished to certain parts of the house. Like you could only play in your room, or you could only
you weren't allowed to go anywhere.
You didn't bring toys downstairs.
Somebody said I didn't relate to this as much, but kind of actually. Somebody said my mom was a stay-at-home mom. I never saw her.
Yeah,
she was in her room, and if we went up to her room, she'd yell at us.
I don't remember.
Our mom was out and about. She was quite active with us, but we were not. We did not socialize with our parents. We were outside. In fact, I can't think of anyone nowadays who would ever kick their 4 children out under the age of 9 and with a built-in pool and say, "Go swimming. I'll see you in a few hours."
Oh my God.
Like that would never happen today.
Well, in her defense, she did get us swimming lessons, so we had a chance.
We did have a fighting chance. That is true. Only one of us almost drowned.
Who was that?
Allison.
What happened? Did she fall in?
She slipped off the bench and no one noticed.
Oh, good God.
And then we turned around and we see her underwater going,
God,
and
that's
we're like,
so scary.
So we had to go rescue her.
Well, it reminds me of when Olivia...
We were so young.
Our niece, fell in on her bike when she was like... Yeah, she was like...
She rode her bike into the pool?
No, yes.
Oh, shit.
So I was really pregnant, and
oh my God.
Ryan was probably 6, so Olivia was, 3?
Yeah.
And she had this little bike with toddler wheels on it and everything, and Paula's backyard at the time was teensy. It was all pool.
It was all pool. I do remember.
So the kids, when they wanted to play out there, there was very little room for them to, like, ride around.
A little strip.
And I was sitting there. I was outside. I was not, like, watching from a window or anything. Sure. No, but... It was one of those moments that it felt like slow motion, but it just happened in a blink of an eye.
It happened so fast.
Like she was getting close to the pool, and I started to get up. Like I was like, "Hey, like you're getting too close," and she just went in, and she never let go of the damn bike. So she went all the way to the bottom of the pool on the bike, and it just went. Ooh, if you could imagine, yeah.
So you had to get in.
Ryan, that poor baby, he's like, get her, like that. I just remember him saying that. He was so scared. It scared the shit out of him. I literally jumped in like a whale. and a huge whoosh, because I was 9 months pregnant and retrieved this baby. But yeah, I have had nightmares about that.
Oh, God.
I mean, and it was
what?
You couldn't. It was 12 years ago,
you
but
were right there.
Yeah, I was
like
right there, but it was terrifying.
Of course, it's terrifying.
So yeah.
So then somebody was saying, did anybody ever notice that when we were kids that our parents like literally never took us to the doctor for injuries and shit? I'm like, God, you're so right. I remember they were talking about, they're like, I was the oldest and I would have the worst ear infections ever. And it would take an act of God for my mom to take me to get antibiotics.
I know.
I go, you know what?
True.
And so I said, I actually got massive sympathy for my story in the comments. I said, I was so sick once with an ear infection that I went deaf for a week.
Oh my God. And no one took you?
I remember turning to Dad and I said, I can't hear anything. I'm deaf. And he started laughing. And so finally there's like, okay, maybe she needs to go to the doctor.
Holy shit.
I was on like massive
antibiotics
for a month. I was on medicine.
Remember
for a month.
when
somebody goes, that sounds like my husband. I'm so sorry for you. And I'm like, it's all right. I went into therapy at 19. I'm good.
Yeah.
I'm just saying that that's literally the thing.
I kind of remember that.
How many nails did I step on?
Oh my God, Jamie.
And didn't go to the doctor. Like so many.
When I was about, we lived at Plantain, so I was under 8. I was probably 6 or 7. Mm-hmm. And I fell in our very slippery, actually I didn't fall. I think I something on my bike. But remember my teeth went through my lip.
I do remember that.
So they completely came through my lip.
Yep.
I did not go to the doctor for that.
No, you did not.
I looked like I had been hit in the face with a frying pan.
I remember you had a huge
at 100 miles an yes.
Your lip was black.
And
almost.
people looked at me. They're like, "My God, child, what happened to you?" It was horrible.
No one did anything. They just cleaned it up.
I know. I'm like, if that happened today,
they're like, just rub some dirt in it. She'll be all right. She'll have a nice scar.
I can't imagine not taking my child to the doctor.
That would almost be a 911 today.
To the emergency room.
They'd be like, call 911.
Oh my God.
They did both their job.
I mean, the amount of blood and everything that was happening in that situation, I'm like, but no.
All those things. And it's like, I can't think of very few. The one time that I went to the emergency room and it took them hours to make that decision was when Dad was adding on a room to his auto shop, and a 2x4 fell
and hit you
and hit me dead in the skull. And I remember when it hit me, I remember getting up and like running around because I was massively concussed.
Yeah,
and I had a huge gash, and he did take me home. Well, actually, he gave me ice, and then he did take me to his house, and I was laying on the couch, and I was listless. And Mom came over, and she's like, I think we should probably take her to the emergency
so she doesn't die from a brain, swelling.
We don't know. And so they took me, and luckily, then the ER guy was like, well, she just needs a butterfly. She doesn't even need stitches. But they're like, she's massively concussed.
Yeah. Don't let her fall asleep.
Don't let her do anything.
Yeah.
That was the only
they
thing.
took me when you and I were on the bike and I was on the back and my foot went through the spokes.
I remember that.
Because there was like bone showing.
Yes.
And then they were like, well, shit, I guess we're going to after they stuck my foot in a thing of salt water to cleanse it.
To get all of the germs off of it.
Yeah.
Because we live in the Wild West.
Apparently.
It's insane. And so, everybody's talking about all of
was everybody like this?
Yes.
Okay, good.
That's the thing.
I'm like, are people listening going, my God, well, my parents weren't that bad.
If they were young, then they were probably out. They're probably stunned silent. But if you're our age, you're like, yeah, that happened to me one time. I remember I was listening to a show, and it was a comedian, and he said that he was playing baseball and he got hit in the mouth with a ball and he lost like most of his teeth, and his dad made him continue playing the game. Wow. And then they went to the dentist after they won the game.
Damn.
But that's not uncommon.
Okay.
Nowadays it would be like, where's the ambulance?
Right.
Take them immediately for surgery. But back then it's just like, you'll be all right.
Shake it off.
We'll just hold on to the teeth. It's fine. And now he has fake teeth to this day because of it. And it's like,
damn.
Shit. But yes. And so I'm reading all of these stories and I'm laughing.
Yeah.
I'm laughing because I'm like, God, it's so true. It's like, how many strep throats did we have that our parents made us go to school?
Oh my God, you're probably right.
The ear infections
are legit.
Everybody had, it's like, unless you were vomiting, you did not go home from school. Like you were at school, period.
Even with fevers and stuff.
Oh yeah. And the teachers were just
that.
like, it's only 100, you know?
Yeah, you're fine. Did your mother give you aspirin this morning?
Yeah. Or you could go to the office and get some.
That's true.
They would never now. But I mean, back in the day,
God, no.
there was only a few times where they would send you home like diarrhea, vomit.
Yeah.
If you forgot your lunch.
Stuff like that. Yeah.
Stuff like that's like, well, you have to eat.
You have to eat.
Yes. But yeah, it was a very different time. And so now they're like, don't fuck with Gen Xers, man.
And now my son called me the other day. I took a couple days off. I took some vacation days, and of course my son took full advantage of it. He got new shoes, and he called me. He's like, I can't walk.
What?
Because they were so tight. Because they were brand new.
Yeah.
He's like, I'm hobbling. And I'm like, Jerry, go get your son. He's like, why? I'm like, his shoes hurt his feet.
Can you imagine calling our parents?
Oh, he was home by 10:30.
Calling our parents is like, my new shoes are too tight. Well, I put my thumb. But you have growing room. I don't understand. It's like, they're too tight. He's like, well, I don't really understand the nature of this call. Well, I'm working.
So then he's in his room, and I go in there. He's got both feet in the air. You know, he's on the bed with no socks on or anything. And I'm like, let me see your feet. So I look at his feet. They definitely had impressions on them.
Were they just too small?
They were. Aww. And which sucks because they were $100. Well, and I'm like, fucking he wore them. I'm like, all right, like whatever.
Yeah,
so I had to give him his Christmas shoes that he was supposed to be a present.
Merry Christmas.
Yeah, I'm like, well, these are for Christmas, but here you go.
Yeah, well, that would not fly in our time.
Hell no.
No, they'd be like, well, first of all, we would always get shoes and pants way too big for us.
That's
like,
true.
You'll grow into it.
Yeah.
That was always the thing.
You know, yeah.
You'll grow into them.
I felt guilty because I'm like, God, this kid, his feet are like, I said the word. Oh my God.
A couple times. Making me flinch.
I'm sorry.
It's fine.
So, I mean, he's just growing. Like, kids do that to you. Like, you blink and they're 2 sizes bigger than they were a month ago.
Oh, my God, so much. All right, well, we're coming down to it. I have one ugly and awkward moment that I wanted to share with you.
Okay.
We're running out of time. God, it's just so fast. I don't know if you have an ugly and awkward moment, but I do.
Well, mine's kind of a private one. Nobody knows but me.
Okay. Anyway, so I play World of Warcraft.
Yes.
And I'm not ashamed of it. I love it.
Yeah.
It's fun. I'm not that great at it, but whatever.
But it's your thing. Yeah.
I love it.
And I've been playing for as long as I can remember.
For a really long time. And so there's this level. It's kind of like Call of Duty. You have a little pod of people that you play with sometimes. And you go out and you kill things and you win or you lose, whatever. So I have a little guild that I'm in and I play with these people. And every week we kill things together. Very achievement based. And I have some people that I'm closer with than others that I've been playing with for years. So in this game, there are several ways to chat with people. And I remember when I started playing, someone said, this is literally the most expensive chat room ever.
Yeah.
So you can whisper someone. So you can have a little one-on-one chat.
Right.
There's the group chat where everybody can chat together. Then there's like party chats. I mean, there's all kinds of options. So when I'm playing this specific way, there's the group chat, and then I have a couple people that I will whisper for whatever reason. I have a couple
because you don't want everybody to hear what you're talking about.
Well, we're usually talking shit, about someone.
Got it.
So
my daughter met her husband on World of War.
Yes, she did.
So I get how it's very like you get you're tight. Like this is like your little
you have little friends.
It's your family. Yeah.
Sure. So we're playing some new content, and there's a couple of greedy bastards and they just want all the stuff. Yeah. And, you know, we're all over 40. Yeah. We're all adults.
Like, we have
lives. We have spouses and children and jobs. Why are we acting like this is the only time I'm ever going to... Can we just be diplomatic about it?
Some people are just assholes.
They're just greedy.
It's just crazy to me.
It is crazy to me, actually.
But these people exist, and there's lots of them.
Yeah, and the thing is that they don't care.
No, they don't.
They're like, you can call me out if you want to, but I don't give a fuck.
So what are you going to do about it?
Yeah, what are you going to do? It's digital. What are you going to do?
We're online.
Right.
You're never going to meet me or know where I live.
Right. So me and a friend of mine were talking, and I go, oh, look. They won another thing and they had no business winning that. And so we're you know, probably being a little bit more crude than that, but whatever. Of course. And so I lost myself.
Uh-oh.
And I typed something in the group chat.
On purpose?
No.
Uh-oh.
It was an accident.
Yeah.
And I said, oh, luckily I didn't use any profanity or call out anything like that. Cause I mean, I can be filthy.
Uh-huh.
But I said, oh, Yeah, definitely. He definitely shouldn't have rolled that or won that because he's won a ton of shit.
Uh-oh.
And everybody goes, who are you talking about? And I'm like, what?
You're like, uh-oh.
Because we have microphones too.
Oh, fuck. That's right.
And they're like, who are you talking about? I'm like, what do you mean? They're like, well, what you wrote. And I looked down, I was like, oh no.
And you have seconds to respond with something.
And my friend is whispering, but he's like, ha, ha, ha. He thinks it's hilarious. And I'm like, oh, nothing. It's nothing. Everybody knows exactly what I'm talking about. It's just that no one would ever say that.
And you can't, they're like, we don't know who she's talking about. It's one of us, obviously.
Well, we all kind of know it's one of two people. And so, because it's the same greedy bastards. And so we happen to be going on a break.
But maybe they don't know they're seen that way.
So we go on a break.
They're probably like, me?
They're like, who are they talking about? And then everybody's thinking about, I just won something. Is it me? You know?
Yeah.
So then
That's so funny.
So I'm like, oh my God. I was like, well, I mean, at least it's out there now, right? I mean, it's out there.
Maybe they'll be self-conscious and be like, maybe I shouldn't be.
Maybe I shouldn't be so greedy.
Yeah.
So then,
no.
Now we have people who are in charge of everything. They're the officers or whatever. All of a sudden, I'm getting who are you talking about? We want to know.
They're all whispering to you.
Yeah, they're like, who is it? And I'm like, it's nothing.
I would have it's you.
I go, I was trying to be, look, I go, somebody and I were talking and I was just trying to be supportive. Okay. It's no big deal. I was just trying to say something to make them feel better.
Right. I was trying to be inclusive.
I was just trying to be supportive. And so I was just saying things like that so that it would make them feel better, even though it was totally the truth. But I was like, that
was pretty good because I wouldn't have known what to say. I have literally done that in a text where I was talking shit about a friend with a friend.
Yes.
And I sent the shit talking text to the person I was talking about.
It's like reply all.
It was,
and you want to die.
I don't even know. I was so mad. I'm like, how?
I hate it.
So, and then I called the person who I was talking shit with, and I'm like, I just did something. And I told her, and she's like, oh my God. She's like, you idiot.
I'm an idiot.
What do I do?
Nothing.
Well, I was able to pull it off because like you
did some shit talking.
It was shit talking, but it was non-specific, and I didn't say a name.
Thank God.
So I said, I'm so sorry. I was talking shit about so-and-so with so-and-so, and I fucking actually said that to you. Sorry, my bad. And it worked out. It did.
Thank God. You know what? I have learned in my years of shit talking that it's best to keep it generic.
Right.
So in case you do mess up.
Or triple fucking check before you hit send.
You know what? I have done that and still done it wrong.
I know. So have I.
Episode 242. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So it happens. Anyway, all right. Well, that's the show. Thank you for listening. We're winding down. One more show after this, and then we're taking our holiday break.
Hard to believe.
And then we'll be back.
2024.
Just like that.
I know. It's
I can't
such
believe
a trip.
it. I can't believe it.
It's
I thought,
weird.
I think our mom thought that Armageddon would have come and gone by now.
Many people did.
So here we are, still living, still existing.
Hey, when pandemic was going on, I had friends who were telling me to like stock up on food because this was it. And I'm like,
what does it matter? That's the thing I don't get. If this is the end of the world, why are we stocking up on food?
They didn't think we were going to be it, but they were just foreseeing like some major global thing was going to happen that we were going to have to get through.
Well, I'll tell you this, Stephanie. Should that happen, should that ever happen, I'll tell you what, I don't want to be around.
Yeah.
You want to know why? Because what happens to women the second there's anarchy in the world?
I know. They get raped.
They're raped and killed immediately.
Yeah, absolutely.
There's no good outcome for us.
My thing is this. Like, this world, this country, let's just look at even that. We went through the Great Depression. Yeah. It was terrible. We went through the polio thing where people were dying and,
children.
Yes. So we've been through things that have been terrible like that. Yeah. And some of us live and some of us don't.
That's right.
So hopefully, between our families, we have enough canned goods in our homes that we could like get together and like put everything together and try to ration it.
I'm not playing Walking Dead. I'm not doing it. I'm not fashioning spears out of gates. I'm not doing any of that shit.
You'd be surprised what you do for survival.
I will survive to a point, but you know what? If there's a way to go out humanely, I'm out. I'm not doing it.
See, I'm not
becoming fodder for some fanatical crazy person.
Well, right. But I mean, at the same time, it's like, what if I make it? Like, what if I can live through it?
You got to let that go.
Not me.
I'm going to get a cavity. Or I'll lose my glasses and it's over.
God.
Curtains for me. I'm too old anyway. They'll be like, she's old. Just kill her.
It just, you know what I mean? I think we're smart, and I would just hope that we would figure out something. But I mean, if you're talking about a phenomena that cannot be predicted, like zombies and shit like that, then no. Yeah.
All I know is this.
I'm no Will Smith.
I don't want to survive a nuclear war of any kind. Yeah. I'm not walking around with burns and my eye hanging out for 3 months
or
before
getting cancer a year from now.
Before I finally succumb. Yeah, it's not happening. I just want to be taken out.
God, we have these conversations at work and they're so morbid. But I was talking to a friend and he's like, it's never going to happen. He's like, we're never going to have nuclear war because no one wants to die like that.
Well, that's true. I'm just saying.
And they just like to threaten it a lot because it's the ultimate thing.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, they would die too. And nobody wants that.
Everybody would die. And
I'm just going to believe that because I don't have another lifetime to worry about it. I mean, I'm already halfway through mine, so.
That's true.
Yeah, and at this point,
Can you just leave it normal, please? I just want to go to Hawaii.
People I went to high school with on Facebook are dying regularly.
Without nuclear war.
I mean, it's just like people, so-and-so passed away. I'm like, I went to high school with him. Like, we're just at that age to where they could be talking about me on Facebook. I could be dead.
Well,
remember Stephanie from Casa Robles? She died. Oh my God, that's terrible.
And somebody will go, I'm not surprised.
Prayers to her family.
I'd be like, oh my God, she's agnostic.
She wouldn't want you saying that. Shut up. She'd be so annoyed by you guys having this 35 comments under the announcement of her death.
I will say this, if I were to pass, and I know you probably won't feel this way, but I want every detail out there.
Oh, yeah.
I don't want anyone to go, oh my God, what happened?
Right.
I want the full.
Why do people feel the need to be out there? Like it's this thinly veiled, like we can't tell you what happened?
I guess on some, like,
maybe it's the person, like they didn't want people to know, and so they're trying to respect their privacy.
But it's like people that I personally find friendly and that we're friends and whatever, they're pretty open. They'll be like, oh, so-and-so died. She or he had this kind of cancer. Yeah. It was hard. It was a long battle. It sucked, but here we are.
I think there's people,
and that's fine,
Yeah. So the only thing I can think of is because recently there was a couple of people that I knew that were my age and that died, and that somebody announced that they died, but they never said what it was. And if you looked up their obituary, there was no mention of it. So
usually it's suicide.
Either that or substance abuse.
Yes, that is true.
But I don't understand why we don't, like, the people that have been knowing them, they were like, I was always so afraid this was going to happen. Right. And I'm like, okay, then if everyone knows, then why is it a fucking secret?
Because I think
shame?
Yeah, probably a little shameful. Yeah.
I don't know. I guess for me, I just don't look at addiction like, that's what they get. You know what I mean? I do not.
No.
So for me, if you say it, it's the same as like if you had a disease.
It is. I mean, yeah, I don't know. I think it's probably shame. Yeah. I'm sure it is. But when I die, I want you to be like, oh, or you can make up some crazy lie.
Unless you die of like a flesh-eating bacteria or something.
No, you could totally tell people if that happened. But you could say, yeah, everybody knows that Jamie was battling, whatever, but she was on a Make-A-Wish trip and her greatest fear came true. She was bitten by a shark and she bled to death.
I would so much rather that be than die of cancer or something.
Yeah. So, but just say that. People would be like, oh my God.
Right?
It would be
I'd be like,
forever.
DM me if you want a photo.
Forever people, and then send them a picture of a clown. But I mean, literally, I want
a mutilated leg. That'd be fun.
I don't want a picture of my mutilated leg out there.
Well, I'll make it one off the internet, like not yours.
I want it to be like people be going like, oh my God, so she was dying of cancer, but she did her Make-A-Wish and was eaten by a shark.
I mean, it's like when you watch, everyone knows I watched Discovery ID to death, but I watched this thing where this man was literally dying of cancer. He was dying. He was going to die soon. Like maybe 6 months if he was lucky. Mm-hmm. His wife murdered him.
Why?
That's what I said.
You couldn't wait. Why? You couldn't wait 8 weeks?
No. And it was like, God, I mean, really? Like, I'm going to die anyway. And now this fucking bitch is going to like hammer me in the head while I'm on the couch.
Why?
I'm drugged up because I can't move because I'm so sick.
What's wrong with her?
I can't remember what the circumstances were, but it was
he an asshole?
Probably, or maybe, but I mean, he's going to be dead on his own.
Just inject an air bubble.
He's going to be dead on his own. Let it happen. You're going to literally be rid of him in less than, a year.
Can you imagine being such an asshole that your wife can't even wait for you to die? She has to do it herself.
That was probably
like, I'm sick of you.
Yeah.
Once again, your dirty underwear on the carpet.
Seriously.
Why?
I'm not wiping your ass while you're dying.
I've had it with you.
Done. Yeah, I mean, I've heard of people who've been married
crazy.
for 50 years and the husband was always an asshole, and even as they're dying, they're surly and mouthy.
They're worse.
Yeah, and people are just like, God, he can't die soon enough.
I don't get that. I'm just like, nobody is granted grace just because you're dying.
I agree.
If you're a dick, you're just a dick dying.
Right?
You're a dying dick.
Yeah, I agree.
So,
and some people don't, people think that when you're dying, you're going to eventually like come to realize,
no.
like, I was an asshole my whole life. Nope. I'm sorry. They don't.
No, they're just concentrated.
Yeah,
they're just as bad.
Yeah, right.
It don't matter. Anyway, all right. Well, on that note, we'll be back next week with a recap of 2023.
It's always death.
I know it is.
Oh,
you know what? Daryl says it's me. All right.
It's not just you.